For years, China has been dominating the affordable EV space, cheap, fast, and packed with tech, while legacy brands like Volkswagen struggle to keep up. Some even said VW had already lost this race. But then this showed up. The VW ID. Polo is small, electric, and surprisingly bold, and it's raising a serious question. Has Volkswagen finally built an EV that can stand up to China's best? On paper, it looks smart, modern, and way more competitive than you'd expect from VW at this price point. But does it really change the game? Or is it still playing catch-up? Let's find out. So let's set the stage. Volkswagen is a brand Americans already know and trust. Golfs, Jettas, Passats. Cars that built VW's reputation for solid engineering and everyday usability. But when the world shifted toward affordable electric cars, especially in China, VW suddenly found itself on the back foot. Chinese brands moved fast, launching compact EVs that were cheaper, smarter, and packed with features, while traditional automakers struggled to respond. That's where the VW ID. Polo comes in. Think of it as Volkswagen's attempt to bring its classic small car formula into the electric age. It's positioned as a compact, city-friendly EV designed for younger buyers, first-time EV owners, and anyone who wants an electric car without jumping into premium pricing. This isn't meant to be a flashy flagship. It's meant to be practical, efficient, and globally competitive. What makes this launch important is timing. The US market is slowly warming up to smaller EVs, especially as prices and charging concerns remain major barriers. While the ID. Polo isn't officially a US car yet, it represents the kind of affordable EV Volkswagen needs if it wants to stay relevant against rising Chinese competition and brands like Tesla, Hyundai, and Chevy. Visually, the ID. Polo looks familiar yet modern. Compact proportions, clean lines, and a design that feels more confident than earlier VW EVs. On paper, it promises better tech, improved efficiency, and a price that actually makes sense for mass-market buyers. But promising specs and real-world performance aren't always the same thing. So the big question is, does the ID. Polo finally show that Volkswagen has learned from its EV missteps? Or is this just another step in a long game of catch-up? Let's break it down. Now this is where things start to get interesting. Because the VW ID. Polo isn't just another small electric car. It's Volkswagen quietly trying to fix a lot of past mistakes, all at once. Let's start with the design. At first glance, the ID. Polo looks clean, modern, and way more confident than earlier VW EVs. It's compact, but not toy-like. Short overhangs, smooth surfaces, and a closed-off front give it that unmistakable EV look, while sharp LED headlights and a wide stance help it feel planted on the road. In traffic, it looks approachable, but parked next to gas-powered hatchbacks, it clearly feels like something from the next generation. Step inside, and the cabin is where VW really steps up its game. The interior feels simple, but thoughtfully laid out. There's a floating touchscreen front and center, crisp digital gauges, and fewer physical buttons than old-school Volkswagens, but not so few that it becomes annoying. Materials feel better than expected for a small EV, with soft-touch areas where your hands naturally rest. It's not luxury, but it's clean, modern, and easy to live with. Space is another surprise. Thanks to the flat EV4, the ID. Polo makes smart use of its footprint. Front passengers get plenty of headroom and legroom, and even the back seats feel usable for adults on short to medium trips. Around town, this is the kind of car that feels effortless, easy to park, easy to maneuver, and stress-free in tight spaces. Space is another surprise. Thanks to the flat EV4, the ID. Polo makes smart use of its footprint. Front passengers get plenty of headroom and legroom, and even the back seats feel usable for adults on short to medium trips. Around town, this is the kind of car that feels effortless, easy to park, easy to maneuver, and stress-free in tight spaces. Range and efficiency are where this car really needs to prove itself, and on paper, things look promising. VW is targeting a range that comfortably covers daily commuting with room to spare, especially for urban and suburban drivers. Charging speeds are competitive for this class, meaning quick top-ups during errands or short charging stops rather than long waits. But not everything is perfect. This is still a small EV, so don't expect massive cargo space or thrilling acceleration. Some competitors from China may still offer more features for less money, and real-world range will matter more than loud numbers. But not everything is perfect. This is still a small EV, so don't expect massive cargo space or thrilling acceleration. Some competitors from China may still offer more features for less money, and real-world range will matter more than loud numbers. But here's the real twist. Despite all the strengths, the ID Polo isn't flawless. Cargo space is still modest, and some features that feel standard in competing Chinese models, like larger touch screens or advanced autonomous options, are limited. Price is competitive, yes, but when stacked against imported Chinese EVs, the value equation gets interesting. And yet, when everything comes together, the design, the drive experience, the tech, and the practicality, it's hard not to feel that Volkswagen has finally hit a sweet spot. This is an EV that feels like it belongs in the modern market, not just in Europe, but potentially anywhere. So here's the moment of truth, the ID Polo either proves VW can play catch-up with China, or it's still one step behind. But the answer isn't obvious yet, and that's exactly why the final verdict matters, because what comes next could change the way we see budget EVs altogether. After putting the VW ID Polo through its paces, the verdict is clear. Volkswagen has delivered a small EV that feels surprisingly confident, practical, and well-rounded. It may not be a luxury EV or a performance powerhouse, but for what it sets out to do, offer an affordable, city-friendly, and technologically competent electric car, it succeeds. The pros are easy to spot: a modern and clean design, surprisingly spacious and comfortable interior, smooth and predictable driving dynamics, and thoughtful tech features that make daily driving easier. The flat EV floor and smart cabin layout maximize usability, while driver assistance systems and a responsive infotainment setup keep it feeling current and safe. On the flip side, there are trade-offs. Cargo space remains modest. Some high-tech features available in rival Chinese EVs are missing, and real-world range will require consideration depending on your commute. But these drawbacks don't overshadow the ID Polo's overall value proposition, especially for buyers looking for an accessible, entry-level EV. Who is this car for? Urban commuters, first-time EV buyers, and anyone who wants a small, efficient, and affordable electric car will find the ID Polo appealing. It's not for those chasing luxury, high performance, or maximum cargo space, but for everyday usability and a smooth, modern driving experience, it hits the mark. In terms of the US market, the ID Polo sets a benchmark for what Volkswagen could bring if it chooses to launch here. It signals that legacy brands can still compete with fast-moving Chinese competitors, combining reliability, brand trust, and modern EV technology in one package. This car might not dominate headlines, but it quietly changes expectations for compact EVs in the global market. So here's the takeaway. Volkswagen has learned, adapted, and delivered a car that could change how we view affordable EVs. But what do you think? Can VW finally rival China's best, or is this just the start?